Hey everybody, welcome to LettermenRow.com, Birminology. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. I'm here at Wayne High School in beautiful Huber Heights, Ohio, talking to one of Ohio State's most recent offers, and I think the most recent offer in the class of 2022, and the most recent offensive line offer in the Buckeyes' pursuit of a refill on the offensive line. Aamil Wagner, thanks for taking time, man. How does it feel? Let's just go right there. How does it feel to have a scholarship offer from Ohio State now? You've waited a while. You've been talking to the Buckeyes a while. What does it feel like?
Man, it feels like a blessing, really. Being offered by the in-state team, the team that everyone looks up to growing up. You have Braxton Miller, BB there, even Blue there while he was there for a little bit. Just all the kind of legends that you see growing up. Having an offer from them is really just a blessing overall.
I know that for a lot of you guys, Braxton Miller is sort of the go-to, like the name that you grew up watching kids in your age group. A little bit earlier than that is Marcus Freeman, the head coach, or now the defensive coordinator at Cincinnati, or Notre Dame after leaving Cincinnati. What is it like to just know that you could be the next guy in that group of someone who comes through this high school and then moves on to college and makes a difference?
It feels like great, really. I think me being who looked up to Braxton personally and knows these great legends that went to high school and how they had affected my life, making me want to work better and get to the position they were. Being able to be that kind of leadership role, that kind of person that can inspire the youth is very just appealing situation for me overall.
Aamil, you were this close to breaking down the recruiting list and to narrowing it down to 4 or 5 schools, and then Ohio State offers. Who are the other schools that are still really in that conversation for you as you start to explore the idea of making some self-guided visits and getting a feel for tours or for cities and campuses before the summer?
I haven't yet finalized the list, but I think some of the schools that I will be kind of narrowing down to, Penn State will be on there, Notre Dame will be on there, Stanford and Kentucky. Other than that, I think there's going to be a couple other schools I want to look into a little more deeper and then kind of make my decision from there.
Is there a specific thing in the big picture of recruiting where you're like, okay, that's something that I absolutely have to have at a school? And what would the most important thing be for you?
I think one of the biggest things for me, and maybe not the most important, but life after football, what they can offer me in that aspect. I think Stanford, for example, has great academics. So if I know if I get a degree from there, it's going to serve for the rest of my life, whether I do the NFL or normal job. So just life after football, academics, and then kind of more of the football program and how they operate things around there.
We were talking a little bit before we came on the air, and you talked about how if the football game wasn't going on at the same time that the band was playing, you would be playing the trombone right now. Or you said that you hadn't been mic'd up since you had done a play where you were the Cat in the Hat in Seussical. You're obviously a pretty versatile dude. Did you know that football was going to provide, and not just football necessarily, but athletics? Your brother, obviously, Ahmad, came through here and played basketball at Iowa. Did you know that athletics was going to be that path, or has it always just sort of been something that you've enjoyed to do while you did other things?
I think one thing I contributed to my parents was they made sure we were around as a kid. Whether I was playing instruments, being in the church, making sure our studies are high, and then athletics. So I think as far as sports kind of came along. My younger years. At first, I was a basketball soccer player, and then 5th grade year, I asked my parents I want to play football, and they sent me out to the youth group and the youth Pee Wee team down in Wayne High School or Huber Heights, and from then on, it's always been a dream of mine, love of mine, the game.
Well, Wayne has always been a very well-respected program in the state, produced a lot of talent, as we've already talked about. But when you talk about the leap from a place like Wayne High School to a place like Ohio State or Notre Dame or Penn State, Stanford, Kentucky, et cetera, where do you think your game has to really elevate to get you to the point where you're contributing at a place like that?
I think the biggest thing is my size. Make sure I put on the right weight and a good weight to play at a college level. I think as far as footwork and explosiveness, I have that, but in terms, I got to get a little bigger so I can compete with big boys.
And from your conversations with Ohio State in the last 6 months with Kennedy Cook, the offensive line assistant, with Greg Studwara, with Ryan Day, et cetera, that was sort of the holdup for you, right? Was how does your body grow? And I want, if you can, run down a daily meal for Aamil. What is the Aamil plan? What is it?
See, I wake up, I eat about a 5 egg, 3 pancakes, a bowl of grits, 4 pieces of bacon meal every day, just put some good weight on me. Between class, I like to get a couple snacks in, whether that's a sandwich, a couple chips, a protein shake, and at lunch, how I had yesterday's leftovers, 4 sandwiches, something big on my plate, and then I eat another snack after that. Might get a workout in between the day, depending on what my practice schedule is, and then I have dinner time. Depending, we eating big portions at my house, so a bowl of spaghetti is 2 or 3 for me, and just eating all that together helps me build weight.
So it's not as though you're not trying to put on weight, right? I mean, it's part of something and I'm sure Ohio State is not the only school that has said, hey, if you want to play offensive tackle, you got to get bigger.
Yes, sir.
Is it just the metabolism in your family? What do you think? And when do you think that finally catches up to you?
Personally, I've been able to add 20 to 30 pounds every year, somebody third year. I came into Wayne at 180.
Okay.
And I played my sophomore year at 230.
Okay.
And so I've been able to add muscle and mass overall pretty easy over the years. So I think just going on a steady plan, I'll be able to be around 270, 280 by the time my senior season.
So right now, if you can't see it out there in the internet world, you're what, 6'6", 6'6.5", and you said 260 pounds.
Yes, sir.
So the internet sites that list you at 240 are a little bit off right now.
Yeah.
But obviously they're still, by the time you're thinking about playing college football, you're probably looking at another 40 pounds or so to get yourself there. Are you in a position where you feel like you're wanting to go into a college program that you may have to wait a couple of years to get to that spot where you're playing? Or is playing early something that is priority for you?
I think for me, it's just playing at the right time, rather than playing early or playing late. I think I want to play when I'm ready. I don't want to be put out there too early. I'm undersized or I'm not there yet mentally to be out there. So whether that comes in early in my season or comes late in my career, I'd rather just be ready when I play.
I want to go back to the Dr. Seuss, the Cat in the Hat. Did you have to sing, or were you did you have like the cat ears on? How did this work?
I remember it was my 6th grade year, and I've been in every single musical play before that. And didn't really plan to be in the last one because I knew it was about Cat in the Hat, and then I knew they were going to cast me as the cat. But ended up trying out, got the role of the cat, and I had to sing, dance, put a little cat whisker on me, the big hat on me, and it was a fun experience though.
Do you miss that?
I kind of do miss it. I think growing up in I didn't grow up in Huber Heights. I grew up in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And growing up in a small town, kind of like community around what you do, whether it was sports, musicals, or playing an instrument. Yeah. Kind of have that bond with your friends and be able to have put on a fun time together.
You think about guys from this area, Ohio State in the last couple of years, recruited Jackson Carmen. He was a very different type of dude, very eclectic, loved art, loved to draw, loved a lot of different things, music. Paris Johnson, learning how to speak Mandarin and all the stuff that he's done. What is it about this area that makes you guys so diverse? Because it seems like from a personality standpoint, you're all very different.
I don't know. Maybe this is the Ohio thing, man. I think it's like overall, Ohio guys are really diverse, so we can do more than just football, pretty much, more than just one-track people.
Take me, Aamil, to the conversation with Greg Shadwara, with Ryan Day, when they offered you a scholarship. How did that transpire? Were you surprised? What was your reaction? What was your family's reaction, et cetera?
It was funny, actually. I was doing chores at the house. And,
he does chores and musical.
I was doing the chores, and I got a call from Coach Wilson, actually. And I picked it up. How you doing, Coach? He said, here with Coach Stud, and you got some big news to tell you. And pretty much they went over about how, they knew it's a long process right now. They knew they wanted to see me in person first, but with the whole situation about, the pandemic and not being able to see each other in person and no in-person visits to the campus, they said my film was too good not to have an offer.
Is there any sense for you that Ohio State waited too long? I mean, was there a moment or two when you started to get frustrated or say, hey, this is clearly not going to happen, and that's why you started to narrow down the list? I mean, it's okay to say, you're watching them offer all these guys around the country, and then you say, when's my turn? Is there a sense that it came too late ever? I don't think you feel that way now. I think right now you're probably okay with it. But was that percolating?
I think overall, I wasn't really waiting for offer from Ohio State. I think I had a lot of good offers on the table already, and just kind of being able to have my pick of colleges was good enough for me. I wasn't really waiting on a big-time college coming to offer me. I think as far as it being too late, I don't think it was too late, really. I think they just did their due diligence and recruited me and make sure I was the right fit for them. So I appreciate them, actually taking the time and looking into me as a person and as an athlete instead of just offering me right away.
just getting the opportunity to talk with you a little bit right now, like personality fit, it seems like you are someone that would fit this group. You're obviously close to a number of the recruits already.
Yes, sir.
Including CJ Hicks, Captain Buckeye.
Buckeye, yes, sir.
Do you guys make fun of him for that? I mean, what does Captain Buckeye mean to you?
Captain Buckeye, he's hilarious, first of all. CJ is one of the funniest guys I know, man. I've known him since middle school. You know, we both went to a small conference together, played basketball against each other, many heated battles, and he's always been kind of a competitive guy, and also always wanted to kind of recruit somebody even since 8th grade. I think as far as Captain Buckeye, he's been recruiting me since probably my sophomore year, you know.
Wherever he goes,
wherever he goes, I go. And I think, you know, having that kind of relationship with him has opened up my eyes to, you know, viewing Ohio State in a different light. You know, he's trying to put in the best example, obviously, but he's talking about it's a great program, great system. Put me in a group chat with all the, you know, Ohio State commits, and so I'm like, you know, it's a big brotherhood out there already.
Now, as you start to look ahead here, Aamil, like, I don't think you're ready to jump on the offer today, obviously, but how do you see this transpiring? What type of timeline would be ideal for you from here to making a decision? What do you think you have to do before that can happen?
I think I still plan on limiting cutting down the list. Obviously, with the new offer from Ohio State.
Well, we will edit that.
Appreciate that.
We're not going to really edit it.
Yeah, but with the offer from Ohio State, you know, having that be part of my list to choose from, I think I'll probably narrow it down a little bit broader this time and kind of have a pick of schools probably next couple weeks or so. Plan on announcing that and then closing my football season either after or before. I haven't decided yet. Make one decision.
Is it official visits have to happen? Is it you and the family are going to get in the car and drive around the area and see the spots you want to see, fly out to Palo Alto, California and see Stanford? I mean, where do you... this is a conversation I had with someone else recently. If by some chance the dead period gets extended again,
right,
do things change?
I think for me, I really, really, really wanted to wait it out to the end and be able to actually see the people on campus, like shake the coach's hands and be able to meet them face to face. But the dead period does extend. You know, I don't really like the virtual visits, but I feel like they're necessary enough to get to know your college. But I feel like I'll end up just making a decision before that if it continues to get extended. Obviously best case scenario is being on campus, but I'll definitely be changing my plans and kind of just making a decision based on where I feel comfortable.
As the virtual visits have happened, what is the one thing about Ohio State that you've seen that maybe you didn't know about as a kid growing up in Ohio, rooting for the Buckeyes like everyone else that did in this state? What is something that you've seen that you're like, oh, that's actually way different than I had heard or thought it would be?
I think after talking to Coach Stud, he opened my eyes to a lot of things. One thing was the Real Life Wednesday program they had at Ohio State. You know, I think for me, kind of just hearing from other schools and other people that like Ohio State doesn't really focus on academics, stuff like that. And after Coach Stud talked about the program, what they do at Ohio State, totally changed my perspective on that thing. I mean, like they prepare guys for life after football. Yeah. And not just if you're going to be in the NFL, if you're going to be a regular job person, they'll prepare you for anything. And so having that program in there really, really was impressive to me.
Now, Ohio State has obviously gone out of their way in the last handful of years to set up internships for guys on Wall Street, et cetera. Aamil Wagner may be the first guy they set up an internship with on Broadway. You know what I mean? I mean, the cat in the hat. Aamil Wagner is Ohio State's latest 2022 offer in the state of Ohio. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yes, sir.